Hello and welcome to the Bearded Hammer YouTube channel. We've had a little bit of time to resonate in our defeat to Manchester City. 2-0, it finished at the London Stadium for the first game of the season. Now I think deep down we all knew it was going to be a difficult game, but that doesn't make it hurt any less. We're going to recap it and have some thoughts on what's gone on and where we go from here. Obviously, it is only one game out of 38 and possibly out of, I think, 72 games in total if we get to the final of every competition. So it's a little blip in the road, so to speak. Let's start off with the goals. Obviously, Erling Haaland with 2 goals. First from a penalty, second with undeniably a fantastic run. He was sprinting before anyone even anticipated the pass. De Bruyne looked up, see him, he knocked it to one side, slotted it round the keeper with his left foot. He's going to get 40 goals this season. I've said it over and over again. He is a class above, a dangerous mentality as well. He wants to get stronger, quicker, faster and learn everything. And he's the first person to score 2 goals on their Manchester City debut since Sergio Aguero. Says a lot really, because he's now got a statue outside the City ground. But our first half was marred by the injury of Lucas Fabianski. He's gone off injured, and it looks like Areola will now be the number 1 going forward. If he does well with his chance, I think Fabianski will now take the back seat as our number 2 goalkeeper. Defensively, we were resolute. We were unbeaten from open play. I think the choice Areola had was try and get the ball or concede a goal. He tried to get the ball, took down Haaland, and that was that. I can't really blame him for that. It wasn't his fault as such. But I think considering we only had one fit centre-back, he did very, very well. Second half was more entertaining from our perspective. We had a lot of more possession, a lot more passes, a lot more attacks. But let's look at some of the stats, shall we? So possession stats, we were outclassed 75.4% to 24.6%. This is a Premier League stats, so it's not the most in-depth, but it does do well. Shots on target 2, they scored 2. That's why they are Premier League champions. We had 1 shot on target, which was Scamacca's, but I believe that was offside. So I don't really know I can't remember another shot on target for us. 6 shots in total to their 14. Oh, sorry, I've skipped down a little bit for you. So that that first half, I think we had 2 shots in total. So 4 coming in the second. 14 against Manchester City. Again, a team they struggled against. We did give them a game, but we just couldn't do anything well. Almost 1,000 touches for them, 967, opposed to our 391. I think it goes to show, obviously, they had 75% possession, so their passes is going to be a lot more. 833 to our 263. The interesting thing about that is we had less than 100 passes in the first half. So when we come out and went at them a little bit more, we did do well. Next, some stats that we did win. Tackles. 14 tackles for West Ham. Over doubling that of Manchester City. And 17 clearances to their 11. I think 11 clearances for Man City is probably quite a high number considering how much possession they have. And it does go to show, I think, against other teams we will be all right. 1 corner to their 4 offsides for us. Some of them a little bit sloppy. Lanzini, for me, was one of those players who was furthest forward until he needed to be. He was offside once. He needs to come on as a sub, I think. He shouldn't be starting, especially these big games. No yellow cards and 8 fouls conceded to their 4. So, yeah, no red cards for any of us. But, say, Lucas Fabianski went off in the 29th minute. Only, say, 8 minutes later for us to concede. A yellow card for João Cancelo at the last gasp in the first half. Then we made the substitutions of Antonio for Said Benrahma, Antonio for Scamacca. And that's where the turning point was. We started hot in the second half, but that's where the turning point was for us. And yeah, so although Haaland, the one sort of chance they did have, he tucked away. 5 substitutes in fairly quick succession. 78th minute, Haaland came off, and so did Gundogan for Bernardo Silva and Julian Alvarez. And then the late substitutes, De Bruyne for Cole Palmer, Foden for Mahrez, and Rodri for Calvin Phillips, and ours, Jared Bowen for Flynn Downs, and Pablo Fornals for Connor Coventry. 2 players who I would have liked to see get a little bit more minutes, considering we were doing all right, but it was, and the heat did take it out of the players, so that was very, very difficult. From this game, what am I going to take from it? I do think Max Cornet needs to start somewhere. I think he will probably start as a left winger in the next game against Forest, although it might be too soon. I do think he will end up battling it out with Cresswell for that left back spot. Lanzini needs to drop out for me. I would put Flynn Downs in, actually. Give him a chance. Let him show us what he can do. Or alternatively, go 2 up top with Antonio, although he did look like he was going to pick up a knee injury for a little while in that first half, but he played, say, a solid 57 minutes, almost the hour. Go up 2 up top, Antonio Scamacca, see what happens. Other than that, I think Ben Johnson played very well for us at centre back. He can play right back, he can play left back, and he can now play centre back. Until a Gerd comes back, maybe, or Bonner. I know Dawson was out. But Zuma starts, I would stay with that Johnson partnership, and hopefully they'll build that. I mean, that could be something from within that works out well. It didn't do too terribly then, so that's good. Rice and Souček. Rice, he walks into every team in the world, doesn't he? He's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Souček, a game to forget maybe. Didn't have any sort of impact aerially. He's sitting deeper since Rice has started running forward at the beginning of last season. Maybe that's why we're seeing less of him. But I think if we put Flynn Downs in there, or even Connor Coventry, sit a little bit deep, let them 2 do the forward runs, just pinging passes about, I think that could be what opens up the fences, gives us a little bit more aerial prowess with Souček going forward. Jared Bowen, underwhelming game, but he didn't do anything wrong. It goes to show the quality of the opposition. And Antonio, again, same sort of thing. Fornals, for me, was good, making good runs. But we struggled when we got to the final third. That's where we did struggle. We started putting crosses in the second half, and that's what we need to do. We shouldn't have sat on our laurels. I think we should have gone and attacked early on. Maybe we could have nicked something after those first dominant opening 2 minutes. Other than that, our season really does start next week against Nottingham Forest. Jesse Lingard, we're coming for you. Keep thinking that we're going to rack up a big scoreline here with a few new sort of debutant scorers. Scamacca, I think, may get his first goal. I think Cornet could get his first goal if he plays. I do think we're going to absolutely wreck them next week. They've signed lots of players, but stay tuned, make sure you subscribe. You get my thoughts on that, and hopefully some thoughts of a Nottingham Forest fans. Get the counter view to what they think is going to happen in this game. Until next week, I have been the Bearded Hammer. Thank you for watching.